My guest this week on Word of Movement is freerunner Aaron Martin from Team Ashigaru in Germany. We go all across his career, from workshops to commercial work, stylish flips, and a bigger purpose. Because the path is never ending, we dive into philosophy and get to know his work right now, helping to establish the parkour scene in Singapore. This is Aaron Martin, and this is his Word of Movement.
So currently, what my life is about is a community. I'm here in Singapore trying to see the value from acting in synergy. And it's incredible. There's like 6 different academies offering parkour in Singapore. And I can just imagine if all of them really work together, and that's what we're together currently working on to see where the synergies lie and where we can move something greater, then I'm imagining Singapore where 10,000 people practice parkour, because parkour is that incredible practice that is super beginner friendly, that enhances body and mind, being in harmony, that gets you physically fit and healthy, but also gives you a community, a bunch of people who got your back no matter what. So yeah, that's what it comes down for me currently. Coaching, training parkour, it's important, but it's not because we get people fit. And it's not because we make people being more confident or less afraid. I think parkour has got the strength it has because it offers a community for people who don't have one, for people whose parents weren't as supportive as they should have been, for people who didn't have a peer group in their school that they were hanging out all the time with, and make sure like you reach your goals, you reach your goals, you reach your goals, you guys have my back, together we excel in life. That's not what is reality currently. But it can be, and I think the parkour community can be the way for many, many people to get there, where we're a real community, and not just on paper or on a jam or over Facebook, but we really have each other's backs. That's my current focus in coaching and in working with the community here, in doing anything that I do for Urban Free Flow, with Urban Free Flow, getting people together where they live from the win-win situations in life, and not from the why, you're a competitor, you want to earn money from doing the same thing I want to do, I should treat you as a competitor. That's like a reverse mindset, I think. So yeah, sorry, there was like kind of an elaboration of my whole perspective.
Amazing, man. I loved it. I really knew it. I knew that you had a deeper appreciation of the philosophical side. I knew it from looking at you, man. And no, true. And that's one of the things that also characterizes me, is that I'm not the best, and I'm far from being the best. I don't want to be the best. But what I do have to give is a lot of the mental aspect of things, and so I'm also very much in touch with the philosophical side of life and parkour, because parkour is life. So yeah, what you just said now was very, very good, and I'm really happy, and I hope that people can actually learn from you, not just there in Singapore, but by watching this video as well. If they can get something that makes that click, like another click, that's perfect, man. Like, we're helping people, and that's the point.
I really appreciate that you're putting up the show, because I think that way of connecting across the countries, across the nations, that's so important. And yeah, for everyone who's doing anything similar like that, I want to be as supportive as I can. I've looked up your YouTube show, saw that it's mainly in Portuguese, I think, and at the same time, I can already tell by the titles, by the way you put out the whole format, it's very helpful, it's very useful, and big respect for that. Thanks, really. That's, I think, a huge service for the community in Portugal, but that you're taking it even to the next level, and speaking to people around the world is awesome. Thank you so much for that, Alex.
Yeah, well, thank you, man. That's the thing. Like, I know that in Portugal things are very slow to progress. Like, parkour has been here for 10 years, but there was a crew that was actually doing something for parkour, and they were doing a good job. But again, because parkour makes you progress, maybe in a way that you don't really understand in the beginning, you confuse that with your ego, and then you're doing stuff because of ego and not because of parkour, and that's what happened. So a lot of corruption. So that crew ended, and then there was this still point, like where nothing was happening. And for the last 2 years, like people like me and two of my teammates, and very recently other crews now are stepping up, trying to promote more jams, more trainings. There's a parkour gym. There will be two more, I think, very very soon. So
Oh,
yeah, man, it's good. Stuff is happening. But at the same time, there's still not much information. So that's why I
yes.
started the channel. But then I thought, well, maybe I need to do something more for parkour, and that means actually reaching the community like on a broader level. So I had the idea for this show, which hopefully will help people as well. And I hope that I can get in touch with many more people from the community around the world, so that people know who's around, who's doing what, so they can get, they can get inspired, and they can actually know that there's people everywhere in the world, and they're not alone. They're not alone, and that's the most important thing. Yeah.
Perfect. Beautiful. I think you touched on like a very important thing right earlier when you mentioned the ego and like it's difficult to distinguish between I mean for everyone in life what is myself being egoistical and what is myself being living up to my true potential and purpose and like my most helpful self, my myself that's strong to be useful, right? That character. And I think if we are in touch, if we create these connections, if we like show other people's journeys like you're doing currently, it's a very good way to like mentor from afar, showing that yes, for me, for myself, being that performance character has been like a part that I've solely doing for myself, and it didn't create any other value for any other human being at all. Um, but I had to recognize that for myself through like quite a period of time, and I think um, it's also important showing that that understanding ego part. It's an ongoing thing. It's like I'm constantly dealing with what am I doing for myself, what am I doing for others genuinely. But when we can speak about it, it's much more likely that we help each other recognize each other's weak spots, kind of.
Yeah.
And yeah, creating these platforms, these like yeah, I think it's just very important. It's like a mentoring in parkour. I think it's a big thing that's gonna come up eventually, and I think using the internet as first attachment point as medium is very important. And from there on, I think it will progress more easily on a face-to-face, person-to-person kind of basis. Yeah.
All right. So, well, with you having said that, what do you think is going to happen with parkour? Like, where do you see
Yes.
parkour going in the near future?
Yes. It's a great question. I think because it's very exciting. From the metrics that I can read, from what I can tell, from what's going on in different communities, parkour hasn't been really on an uptrend since 2005, basically, except for the past 2 years maybe, where competitions really became a more recognized thing, where Stora has put out their video and actually made some money from it, selling it over Vimeo, where more people are stepping out of their local comfort zone and getting in touch with each other across the nations. I can see a lot of stuff happening in the next couple of years in the UK as well as in the US, definitely. Just reading the message a week ago or so about in the US parkour being part of the school curriculum,
Yes.
being big news.
Yeah.
Here in Singapore, I can sense the same thing. Governments everywhere are understanding that health and recreation in the young ages of a generation actually matters a lot, depending on how they'll turn out in the future. And at the same time, it's us, like you and I, thinking about, and at the same time, like people like Ryan Ford or Julie Angel or Dan Edwards or Blaine, he's been doing it for a long time, thinking like, all right, where can we really distill, like how can we refine our practice to really make it a useful practice? How can we make parkour into something that really is a tool to help people live their lives that's happening increasingly, I think. So we're at that time where I believe in 2017, 2018, a lot of teens will will look up parkour on the internet because they will start learning it in their schools. Even more so in the next 5 years when it has been proven to work out in some countries and other countries can copy it easily. So I think we've got that wave of people shooting at parkour, being more interested. But now it's on us, on our generation, to set a foundation that is accessible both online and offline, where people learn about the true value of parkour, not about competition, not about art of motion first, not about a speed comp is the most like that's why you train, but us understanding how we utilize speed competitions as something that's a great aspiration for some people to work towards, and an incredible skill of a display of skill of what's possible. But how do we use these big tools and still lay the right foundation? That when I talk to a kid, I can link him to either a website or a name or a brand. It could be anything that where I know the real value of parkour is conveyed in the right manner. And that's, I think, your show is doing a big part of that. Where I hope in the future Urban Freefall can do more for that. Where I know a lot of people in their academies are setting the right foundations. Where there's discussions in between academies like how you're setting up your training. How do you ensure that the 10-year-old learns the values while having the most fun in his life training parkour, and a lot of that kind of stuff happening. So I think the next 2-3 years are they will very much create where parkour is going to go in the long run. And if the kids don't find the deeper sense of it, it will be very difficult to keep up with the masses coming in, starting to practice, like getting really high skill levels, getting like insane skill levels. Just Giles released the Motus Project, the Origins video. What the?
It's awesome, man.
It's incredible. But we've got and I don't know about that background. I'm sure they've got a very refined understanding of parkour. But there will be more kids in the future coming up, getting insanely high skill levels quickly, and how, if they're going to be able to link back to the foundation or not, I think will pretty much make up where parkour is going. Like if it has meaning in the future, if it's well recognized practice, if we can get 100 million practitioners worldwide in the future, 1 billion people moving and saying I'm doing parkour, and parkour is that refined movement practice where it offers a space for everyone to come in and then lets them okay, you have the foundation, go out, venture, become the world's best football player, knowing how your body mechanics work first in preschool, and then you become that because you're built. You become a rugby or whatever it is, whatever your passion is. But that's, pretty much either we set the right foundation now, or it's going to be very difficult to keep up with the pace of things progressing. People are more and more sharing their lives on video live, so there's less mystery, but everything will be laid open. So there's no room for creating that second guess, someone wanting to hear more, because the kid will see parkour in 2025 will just know what it is. There's no hiding. There's no well, maybe you just get to speak to the right people. We'll look up parkour in the internet or augmented reality or and that's it. Parkour will be that thing. And I think it's super important what happens right now. So I'm very excited. Yes.
What do you think of parkour certifications?
I'll try to keep it short. Yes, I'll try to keep it short. Parkour certifications, I think there's definitely serve a purpose. Getting insurance is a huge thing as a coach. And on the other hand, it offers a place where trainers who want to progress, where they are offered a place that is researched, that is crafted, that has an intention, that, it's like a parkour certificate is a medium for growth, I think. And it's important that it exists for the insurance reason first, and literally it's a way to, for every single coach on earth to get a bit more, get more knowledge. That being said, I don't have any certification myself, so maybe I'm not the best to speak about it as well. I see they have a purpose. At the same time, I wish it wasn't about 2 or 3 day courses or 1 week courses. I wish it was not so much um, about paying a lot of money and then holding the thing in your hand and then laying it aside and never using any of the knowledge again.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
You have to start somewhere though, and I think the return on invest is I think good for the people behind it. So it offers them more space to discover what's possible. It's a first way as well to bring some credibility into parkour for outside people. So I think that's where the public image of parkour can change through certifications. I don't think it's the most legit thing to start with, but we have been without certification for the past 50 years or so. Only like in the past 5 or whatever it is that those came in. So I think it's looking at the time frame. Everything seems to add up. What I think comes next is creating a forum for people where coaches can get more and more value from each other. But Ryan Ford, I think, Parkour Strength Training, a book is one of those formats. Another can be a series of seminars, like 4 seminars held a year in. For example, there's the movement camp coming up. Movement camp in New York, I think. I want to send you the details so you can link it because I think it's a great event.
Sure.
But there's like that series, and maybe they can record their seminar, and then by that you'll have more knowledge around parkour. People who've just put in the hours to write out concepts and understand how things work, and give material for future coaches to learn from. So I think, the short summary of that, parkour certificates necessary stepping stone to progress. Difficult to deal with if people just take the thing and not the knowledge and forget the application.
To finish, what's the plans for you for your near future? What do you want to do?
Yes. My future involves 2 things. On the one hand, it's definitely got to do with urban freefall and the international community. I want to create, I don't know yet how, because to be quite frank, there's not a lot of money to handle with, speaking from a personal aspect. And I always wanted to make sure that urban freefall doesn't become about the money, because then it would entirely miss its purpose. But I want to find ways how to connect the communities internationally and how to give the 2016 community, like the people living in today's day and age, the resources, knowledge, the opportunities to connect that they deserve, because it's not an old school forum that we kind of figured already by trying for like 2 weeks and no one signed up and we're like, okay, people don't want to follow, it's cool.
Yeah.
But that's kind of my mission for you, finding out what people want and give them the connectivity in our community. And on a personal level, I'm a very how do I put it? A very physical guy almost. Like I need to be in person with people. I need to have like a couple of close people that I'm in close exchange to, and that I can really give my time and be like, all right, where are you at right now? Where's the hole at right now? How can I be of help in any way? That's what I personally just what I just want to do. Connecting people and understanding perspectives, and then like connecting the links where it works out, where it just makes sense. So that's what I'm doing here in Singapore, and I'll be here definitely for the next year, maybe 2, I don't know. But I really want to get all these people with these great aspirations, and the main goal to get more people to move with purpose. I want to get them together the best way I can, and I know all of them are fighting for the same thing. Just they've been coming from so different paths, so it's very difficult to see. And I'm lucky enough to literally just come from outside of Germany, looking on top of the thing and being like, so it's so clear. I get that you can't see it because back in Germany I couldn't see some of the stuff that I'm guilty of. But I'm enjoying that part, that looking from the outside and seeing synergies, because that's where I can see opportunities where just by coming from outside, it's giving another a layer of glasses to look at the situation. So that's what I'm doing personally, and hopefully, ultimately, of course, I want to connect it in some sense or another. With UF, it's online. It's about putting out the knowledge that exists in the scene and making it accessible for other people. Of course, like I want more people to connect over it. I want to be in touch with people over the platform, over Facebook, over Instagram, over whatnot. I'm deeply thinking about how to making Snapchat a thing for Urban Free Flow because I think it adds a very close level. But Urban Free Flow is not about me, so it can't be just my Snapchat channel.
Yeah.
So like how to make these kind of things work, give the transparency, give the that what people want, the connectivity, the internationally felt connectivity, and connect that with my personal like, guys, let's come together, let's work out something. I believe in the greater good. I think every human being generally means positive and means well. I don't think there's anyone with like, evil-minded person. Let's just see how things come together. So yes, that's as short as I can speak.
Awesome, man. I want to thank you very much again for taking the chance because you didn't know me. It was just like this random guy asking you to do an interview. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it.
Dude, it was an amazing conversation. We have to do more.
Yes, definitely.
Hey guys, if you enjoyed this video, please remember to thumbs up. Also share it with as many people as possible so everybody knows what's going on. And of course, subscribe to stay tuned for another episode of Word of Movement.